traveling to consciousness, exploring spiritual journeys to find answers in uncertainty.
Welcome back to another transmission. And in this transmission, we are going to be talking about discount residential energy. And you may be asking yourself, why in the world would we be talking about discount residential energy? Well, here's exactly why. The way the world is currently set up is people can become billionaires off of energy crises. We recently had a healthcare crisis and companies took billions of dollars. American taxpayers funded it, and then when it came to the profits, the corporations took all the money. So imagine we have an energy crisis. Well, try not to imagine it for too long, but if that were to occur, I guarantee you there would be energy companies that would make a killing off of it. They would be crushing it. And we can't have that happening because whenever energy costs rise, people die. A lot of people die very quickly whenever energy costs rise. So we have to find a way to get cheap energy to people. And one of these ways will be discount residential energy. And the plan is, what I'm proposing, what the American Congress Party is proposing, is a 50 to 75% discount on residential energy. And before you think, Clayton, you're crazy, Clayton, this is insane, where's the money going to come from? I'm going to answer all of those very quickly, and because it's very simple. Well, first of all, we're going to stop sending billions of dollars to foreign countries to kill innocent people. That's the first thing that we're going to do. That's the very, very first thing we'll stop doing. Imagine what we could do with all that money. We could rebuild Lahaina. We could build houses for all of the homeless. We could do a whole lot of stuff with the money, first of all, that we are completely wasting in government. But even on the other side, there's a way to bring down energy costs to make them much more affordable. Now, there's a couple ways. I'm going to put some links below. But there's a couple ways to make it much more affordable. One of those ways is leveraging nature. We can leverage energy from nature. One of the ways that I've seen are called wave carpets. So what they do is they create these metal platforms, and whenever a wave comes, it will lift the top metal platform, and then whenever the wave goes by, it will push it back down. And the action of this, I don't remember the exact energy term for it, but the energy created in this will be captured and electricity can be transmuted and saved. And if we were to capture only 60%, we only need to capture 60% of the coastal lines in America. And if we were to capture the waves off of 60%, that's enough energy to provide energy for every single house in America. Crazy. And furthermore, there are other ways as well. This is just one way too, mind you. We also have the ability to gather energy from our footsteps. And I know this sounds crazy, but there is a company out there doing it called PavGen. And what PavGen is doing is they are creating these tiles that we could put in places like subways, in airports. We could put them in restaurants too. Anywhere you have mass amount of people walking, grocery stores, and these tiles will compress about a centimeter or two as you walk. And that compression, that energy of compression gets captured and will be able to be used for renewable energy. This is just clean energy, if you will. This is actually clean energy. Other ways that we have is, I don't know why I just froze on that word, piezoelectricity. Piezoelectricity is an amazing thing as well. And I'm not going to get all into the science here on this podcast because I just want to introduce these ideas to you guys. Piezoelectricity allows us to capture energy from essentially rubbing crystals together. And a way you can do this is through roads. So if we recreate our infrastructure, or we don't even need to completely recreate it, but if we just outfit our infrastructure, our roads, our highways, we can capture energy from the tires pressing on these crystals. Now, again, these deserve their own completely far more in-depth scientific podcast on their own. I am not the person to go to for this. I'm sure there's a beautiful podcast on the science behind all of these things. But the fact remains is that it's possible. It's possible for us to bring down our energy costs tremendously. It's possible to levy the burden that is being placed on the American citizens. It's possible for us to live a cheaper life. I know wages have been stagnant. It's terrible, but we can find ways to lower the costs of the things that we're paying for. I recently saw a video on X of a woman, a mother, who has kids, and her electric bill doubled recently. And I think that's probably a story of many people. So we need to find a way. And there are ways. And that's what I want to stress here, is that there are many ways. And this is only 3 ways that I've found. I'm sure there are far more that I have not even thought of, that you haven't even thought of. And if you want to find more data and even go more in depth, go to clayton24.com as clayton24.com/policies, because I go into much deeper detail when you scroll down to the bottom of data points referencing this. And you can find links there as well to those data points. But the fact remains is this. Whenever there are industries that can create crises that we are dependent on, we are very dependent on energy. We are very dependent on food. We are very dependent on our healthcare systems. When we have these industries where people can profit from crises, we have a big issue. It's a recipe for disaster. So we have to find a way to reduce this burden, take away the ability to profit off of these things. And one of those ways is government intervention. But we need to have balance, because we can't completely get rid of the private industry, but we can't completely make it a public sector. So we have to find a balance between the two. And what this will do is create freedom and prosperity for all. Because finding balance in all of our systems is the best way forward. We can't be trying extremes anymore. Extremes have led to the deaths of millions of people. Pick your extreme, and any extreme you find, millions die. So we need to find that balance, the balance that's going to bring forth peace and prosperity and harmony for all. Because it's possible. It's very, very possible. So I want us to stay optimistic. I want us to stay positive. And I find that we tend to fall into pessimism and think the world's coming to an end for many reasons. There's many bad programs on this earth, but even more so, we don't see a way forward. We don't see a path to get out of this. We don't have ideas that can take us into a prosperous life. And that's where me, Clayton Cuteri, and the American Congress Party enter the scene. We're putting forth ideas that will bring peace and prosperity and harmony for all. So with that being said, I appreciate you all. And if I don't see you all in this dimension, I know for sure that I will see you all in the 6th dimension.